In Greek mythology, there's the story of Sisyphus, a once mighty king punished by the gods. He's forced to roll this immense boulder uphill for eternity, continually battling the forces of nature, and he's doomed to never reach the summit. In 2021, that kind of feels like the story of CD Projekt Red, a once beloved developer trying to roll their mass ambitions onto a console that at this point is 8 years old and a generation behind. It's an uphill battle to say the least, and it's time for us to finally admit, they're never going to reach the summit. To call the launch of Cyberpunk 2077 a disaster would actually be an understatement.
First off, wow.
It was fucking awesome.
I'm really excited.
There's so much. There is so much to do.
I was absolutely blown away with the experience.
I had my doubts given the trailer and how good it looked. They have delivered.
Everyone agrees that Cyberpunk 2077 so far is living up to the hype.
We want to continue to give you a closer look at the game running on console. Since going gold, the team at CD Projekt Red has continued to work on Cyberpunk, addressing bugs and glitches, and enhancing the gameplay and graphics. The gameplay you see today already includes a great number of those fixes, as we work towards bringing the best possible experience on December 10th.
Just in the last few years, we've seen multiple games that have launched terribly and they've never been able to make a full recovery, like most notably obviously Anthem, but we've also got Bleeding Edge, we've got Lawbreakers. Unlike those games though, CDPR has made a commitment to Cyberpunk 2077, and they reaffirmed their commitment in a recent interview with Reuters, where Adam Kaczynski, who's the Joint Chief CEO, stated, "I don't see an option to shelve Cyberpunk 2077. We are convinced that we can bring this game to such a state that we can be proud of it, and therefore successfully sell it for years to come." And you gotta give them credit where credit's due, they're at least trying to maintain that promise. Last month they decided to completely cancel the multiplayer standalone version of Cyberpunk 2077 to hopefully, presumably, focus all of their efforts on the main game. They've even released a roadmap detailing their plans for the future. Granted, it's very vague, there isn't real timelines, but it shows that patches and hotfixes and DLCs are to come. They've tried to stay true to it. Just last month we saw patch 1.2, which was a 44 gigabyte monster patch. The patch notes were 8,000 words long and there were hundreds of fixes, so what am I complaining about? Look, there's no denying that they made improvements. They even made changes to specific memory allocations which helped the higher end consoles with the processing, but the key here is higher end. On the base PS4, there remain heavy dips, stutters, upwards of 100 millisecond hangups, blurry textures, bugs, and FPS averages running below 30. With IGN reporting that gameplay on the base consoles feels like they're actually going backwards with each new update. You don't need to play it, you can see from the footage that this game is heavily GPU, CPU, and memory limited. GameRank's patch testing found a lot of shadows flickering, textures and objects just popping in out of nowhere, main characters lifting off the ground and floating on nothing, animations on main characters glitching, and that was all in one mission. Just 20 minutes of gameplay. The patch has only been out for a couple weeks and we already have a new patch, patch 1.21, which attempts to fix some other bugs and mostly remedy the new issues that were brought on as a result of patch 1.2.
Stop! He's already dead!
Once again, early adopters are steamrolled by the hype train, and those of us who purchased the game at launch, yes, myself included, we've had our time with the game and had our opportunity for refunds. Sony, in an unprecedented move, actually removed Cyberpunk 2077 from their online store just weeks after launch and offered full refunds to those who submitted for it. Since then, it's been over 100 days and it has not returned to the store. And let's be honest, there is no patch that's going to bring that back.
God damn, that's beautiful. You're welcome.
Just a few years ago, I actually took a CPR and a first aid course, and they taught us the importance of triaging. So if you're the first responder on the scene of a bad accident, multiple people are injured, you can't go and focus on the dead guy, because he's dead. You gotta focus on the people who can be saved, you save them first, and then, if time permits, you go back and you try to resuscitate the dead guy. In this case, the last gen consoles, they're the dead guy. You've gotta focus on the PS5 and the Xbox Series X and the PC. They're the ones who can be saved, and in the end, maybe the ones that save you, cause I'm just a little worried if you don't refocus your energy on the next gen, you might get crushed by the boulder.